My name is Catherine McGovern O'Sullivan. I work at Tots Preschool in the Bronx. It's a special ed preschool. We work with children that have developmental delays. We have some full-day classrooms as well as half-day classrooms and one early intervention classroom. My particular class is a 6-1-1, meaning we have 6 children, 1 teacher, 1 teaching assistant, and most of my kids have been diagnosed with autism, or they have severe delays as far as behavioral challenges or communication delays. A lot of them are nonverbal. When I was in college, I actually had a hard time deciding whether to do teaching or psychology. I decided on early childhood education, especially special education, because I felt that it kind of encompassed both fields. I don't see teaching as writing a lesson plan and following a plan book. There's a lot of psychology that plays into it. You have to observe the children, watch the children, listen to the children, and in doing that, it kind of provides for your plan of what your goals are for the child and how you're going to work with them. So I felt that it was a bit of psychology and education. My process for planning my children is really to be proactive and to try to set up the children for success. I tend to follow the rule of 80-20, which is I try to provide 80% success with 20% of a challenge, rather than the whole day is just a challenge. The children that I work with in particular, we have to be very mindful as far as what actually is challenging for the child. It may not be, sitting down doing puzzles or Legos. It might actually be just being in the room. Just tolerating having someone be in their space could be very challenging for a child with autism. And just accepting a hug from an adult or a friend can also be a challenge. So we have to be aware of not overdoing the challenges, but actually what actually is challenging for the child. I measure my children's ability to express themselves, to form relationships, to take information in from the environment and to use that information in order to further their learning, to engage in shared enjoyment and joint attention. I view my role as a teacher as being a multitasker. We're responsible for observing, for caretaking, for planning, facilitating, and challenging the children on a daily basis. My professional goals are to continue learning about autism. It's a field that has been close to my heart, and I want to further my understanding of the unique challenges that those children and their families face. I believe the incidence is now 1 in 110 children are diagnosed with autism. So I'm hoping to learn about new techniques in the next few years as far as what I can do to help them learn. I think one of the greatest challenges for new early childhood teachers is the inability to let go of their control. I see a lot of teachers measuring their success in their ability to control a classroom, where in fact I see that as managing rather than teaching or empowering children. I think once teachers can let go of that control factor, positive relationships naturally develop and real learning can take place. What inspires me to be the teacher that I've become is having the knowledge that you can make a difference, especially working with children with autism. We do know that the younger the child is, the more malleable the child's brain is. I think knowing that and having a conscience, you are inspired to do your best to work with that child, to teach them to communicate, to teach them to interact, to increase their motivation to interact with the environment and with others. Children have taught me about the importance of tuning into them, about not getting involved in a power struggle with them. Teaching is not about managing or controlling a child. It's not about having a child obey you. We really want to tune into the child and try to pique their interest in the environment and encourage them to want to communicate.